Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. It's hard for me to imagine that we won't have $100,000 by the end of 2024. I believe this cycle will lead us to $200K or $300K. Then we might have bought too much at that point, so we go back down a bit. I don't think anyone has missed the boat. I think we're still in the early stages and it will 10x and 10x again. So if you're an investor, you don't want to miss something that will go up 100x or even 1000x in 15, 20, or even 30 years. Many people trust Lawrence Lepard as an investment manager and supporter of sound money. He has one of the most optimistic expectations for Bitcoin, which is the biggest cryptocurrency in the world by market cap. Larry, as he is commonly known, agrees with Michael Saylor that Bitcoin will soon reach an unbelievable $1.8 million per coin. He also thinks that the huge price increases will keep happening until Bitcoin is worth at least 1,000 times what it is now. Larry is sure that Bitcoin will work because he and other supporters of sound money say that the debt-based financial system will soon and surely fall apart. Also, Bitcoin has many unique features that make it different from anything else the world has ever seen. Larry is most interested in the network effect of Bitcoin. He said that Bitcoin's use case is like gold in a recent post on social media site X. However, it's much better than that, because the network effect is growing. Once every 1,000 years, this chance will come up again and again as more people use the network and its value rises. It's really amazing. It's the most unequal chance I've ever seen. People who miss it will feel terrible sorrow. When a gold bug asked about Bitcoin's use as a store of value and a means of exchange, Larry replied in another post, "The soundest form of money always wins." It is better at storing value than other things. Metcalfe's law, or the network effect, will drive it to prices you can't even imagine. Larry recently gave Jamie Curry of the Crypto Nutshell channel a bunch of very optimistic price predictions for Bitcoin. He also talked about why he is so sure about the top cryptocurrency. When you're in the venture capital business, the most important thing to look for is Gene Kleiner. He told me this, or told other people this. He put it in writing. He said it sounded like dogs eating the food. You should look for something that people use, and every day more and more people use it. It is important to find clear growth trends. If you see a clear growth trend, you can extend it to say that if something is growing, it will keep growing if everything else stays the same. Netcom was one of my big wins in the internet space. We put about $5 million into the company and now it's worth $15 million. I was sold to AOL for about $280 million. We must have made $100 million or something. It was crazy. Netcom was a dial-up service in Silicon Valley when we were into it. People would just call into his server, which was linked to a larger server, which was linked to a larger server, which was then linked to the internet, and he would charge them $20 a month. The guy started it out of his garage. I don't remember the exact number of members he had when I filed the guy, but he had 500. He was adding 150 every month, and that number kept going up. So it was kind of like, holy crap. Before we know it, he had 200,000 members by the time he was done. It's clear that something is working when there is that much growth. Also, you see the same thing in Bitcoin, right? There is huge growth, adoption, and more people, and ETFs are a big part of that. Okay, let me tell you about a couple I've missed. Then Amazon and Google show up. This is why the first thing I did when I started my own fund was look for growth at a fair price. I filed it in India. We worked with cell phone companies that were growing by 40% a year and selling at 3 times their earnings. That worked. Okay. Plus, I checked out Amazon in the US and saw that it was growing. I also saw that Google was getting bigger. They weren't making any money in either case, but especially in the Amazon case. So I looked at it through the lens of my old finance degree and said, yeah, it's growing, but they're making up for it by losing money, and making it up in volume they were able to do it because of ZERP. Okay, to put it another way, the cost of cash was very low. Jeff Bezos pretty much destroyed middle class and mainstream American stores on Main Street because he didn't have to pay for his cash. And so he could, and he bought a lot of stores and figured out how to pick things up from them. He knew where we were going before we got there. He also didn't have to pay anything for funds. It was beautiful. He wasn't making any money though. I didn't know that he was playing the old monopolist game, where you lose all your money until you have a monopoly. Following that, you can raise your prices and get rich very quickly. That's why I didn't notice that was the game he was playing. I thought it was a bad plan because of this. That's why I didn't put money into it. And I really wish the deal with Google had been the same, but they weren't doing it with so much free money. I didn't get why I used Google but never clicked on the ads. But I asked myself, how does this? This doesn't make sense. These ad people are being lied to. For example, they spend a lot of money on Google to get listings, but it doesn't work. I was wrong about that. I couldn't see it though because of that. But they were both the same type of network businesses. They made more money as more people joined. Okay, I'm not going to mess up again. When I first saw Bitcoin, I knew it was a network of money that was growing regularly and quickly. Also, that everyone needs money, and that it's really the best kind of money. Indeed, as Saylor and Preston said not long ago, there is no avoidance in it. There are only 21 million of them, that's all. Just for me, it seems like such a clear bet. You also said you could guess the price. I don't know where it's going tomorrow, you know. It's not clear where it will be at the end of the year. I mean, I guess it might be 100,000 or something. On the other hand, I'm sure this will be around 200K, and then it will be 1 million one day. Someone will be too late. Someone is going to get 8 million coins. The reason I said that is because that's the next step that makes sense of, how a network grows. That's why I'm pouting the table, so people don't think, wow, I'm paying too much. I mean, one of my friends is really, really rich. He also knows that my average price is pretty low. You also can't stand the thought of paying $60 or $70,000. I told her, look, it doesn't matter. In other words, I don't remember how much I paid. I mean, as a rough estimate in the thousands, you should know that Max Kaiser paid $2. Also, I don't feel bad about Max. I know that one day someone who is paying $2 million a coin will think that my average price is very low. It's just, a Saylor's point. I mean, Laura, it keeps going up. Either way, you're going to buy it. People don't realize that everyone is going to buy this at some point. That's something I don't think anyone or very few people realize in the end. If you wait, you'll have to pay a lot more for it, so you might as well buy it now. Bitcoin is a strange animal. Who the hell knows how the price will change from day to day, week to week, or month to month? It almost surprises you, at least that's how it works for me. It's been a while since I watched. I just use dollar cost average and HODL. I do not sell. In conclusion, the ETFs are a very good move. They really are. They let people with a lot of money use the asset, and, I think the assets are down even today. It was 60, in the high 50s or 60s. I don't know how much more it's up this year, but it really is. In other words, it's not a disaster. I mean, it was 16 a year ago, that was 36 months ago. In other words, it's still kind of working and will keep working. So, I don't think the short-term swings are that important. I don't know why the price is what it is right now. I don't watch that much of that kind of stuff. To be clear, I do think the MT coins are possible. I've seen that there have been a lot of hedge funds that are short as well. They're probably going to lose their faces. I was also told that one theory might make sense. It happened not too long ago, like a couple of months ago. The workers' pay was also cut in half. Some of them had Bitcoin on their books, and some of them probably aren't making much money or are having trouble with their cash flow right now. Because of this, I think that some miners are having to sell the coins they have in order to keep the lights on. The only thing they want is for the price to go up, which it hasn't done yet. We also saw the hash rate drop a little, not a lot, but a little. I thought it would go down more. I also think that there are some miners who are working too hard to make money right now but haven't given up yet. They're leaving the tools on because they believe the power will return. And until they give up and say, you know what, I'm giving up, I'm turning these machines off, a little more hash goes down. After that,